Hi everyone, welcome. If you're new here, my name is Aileen, and here we like to talk about all things makeup, mostly luxury makeup, skincare, and fashion. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, I hope you consider subscribing and joining the family. So today, I want to take a look at the new Chantecaille Lotus Collection for Holiday 2022. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then keep on watching. But before we go, make sure to like and subscribe and join the family. Let's jump right in. I'm so excited for this. Every year, Chantecaille, Dior, and Chanel are the holiday collections I'm most excited for. And quite frankly, this year, I didn't purchase anything from Chanel or Dior. The colors just didn't speak to me, or they looked like they had too much micro glitters. And then the longer palette looked too much like prior years, one of which I gave to my best friend. And the Chanel just looked blah. It looked standard, like nothing from that collection just spoke to me. That's just me, don't come for me in the comments. But when I saw the Chantecaille, I was excited. So first we have the blur powder, comes in the box like so. The packaging in the front looks just like the box. And it's made to visibly smooth and perfect your complexion with a soft focus blur powder that offers a tint of radiance. It does have an 18-month shelf life. It is made in Italy as well. As you can see, where the powder does not meet the plastic and the rim there, that does make it a baked gelée. It does have the Chantecaille. It is plastic. It is not a flat plastic. So the edges are raised. This is raised. And as you can see how the light hits that, it's kind of wavy around. For reference, we will compare it to the original blur powder. And for size, it is the exact same size as the original, which is no longer in the hummingbird packaging. It is now in their standard packaging. And I really want to pick this up in that deeper shade, see if I can use it as a bronzer. I saw that in the Chantecaille event I attended in September in Northern Florida. It was amazing. We had a great time. Scott Medwatts is amazing as always, so as well as everybody else. And Sylvie Chantecaille was amazing as well. She is beautiful, just so elegant. So here is the powder. I got to meet a couple other YouTubers. I met Dee from Simply Dee Beauty and Megan from Classic Beauty Goddess, and I'll have both of their channels linked down below. I apologize, the powder does have 9 grams, which is larger than the hummingbird. Next is the blush. So my blush did not come broken, it did come raised, so it's not secured there. I did reach out to Chantecaille and they said you can definitely return or exchange it. This is a known issue that they're diligently working on to resolve. So as soon as there's a resolution and I can share it, I'll definitely share that. But it is a known issue amongst many. So don't feel like you lost out, you're gonna lose your money. There will be a resolution. One thing I can tell you about Chantecaille is their customer service is impeccable. So here is the blush. I can see if I have any other shades from Chantecaille we can compare this to, but this is 5 grams, 17.17 ounces. And the box says it is lightweight and radiant, and the blush gives the cheeks a natural looking flush with a hint of pearlescence. So I'm excited for this. I did swatch it. We will move on to swatches shortly. And the blush does have a 24-month shelf life. Next is the highlighter. And again, they all have the same packaging. And the highlighter is a luminous highlighter that gives the high points of the face a beautiful warm glow. And as you can see there, that is also a baked gelée. And you can see by how that does not meet the edges there. And lastly is the beautiful lip crystal. I mean, it just makes you not even want to touch it. It looks absolutely stunning. I know the last time I tried these, the initial application has more shine and that glitter than the ones that proceed, but it is absolutely gorgeous. I love the color and I'm excited to give it all a try. So before we start, as you can see, my Chantecaille blur powder has been loved. You can see a significant dent there in the middle. I feel like I'm gonna hit pan soon, but luckily it is now part of the permanent line. But this is the blur powder, not the new blur powder. This is the existing blur powder in the original shade, which I believe is now the lightest shade. Let's compare it to the new Lotus Perfect Glow. So it is lighter in shade, but when you smooth it out, it does blend in nicely. I cannot imagine this will work on all skin tones, but I will definitely have swatches over on Instagram of all these new products on my skin tone, my daughter's, which is tan, as well as my husband's, which is deep. I just don't see this blending well into a deeper skin tone and not leaving some sort of white cast. I could be wrong, but that's just my initial first impression. Let's move on to the blush. Here is the blush. This is the Lotus blush, and I want to compare it to the Turtle, which I believe is Grace. Then I want to compare it to the Horse, which is Joy. Definitely more pink. And lastly, to the Rouge Pearl from Holiday 2021, which is a softer pink. So this is Lotus, this is Grace, this is Joy, and this is Rouge Pearl. I would say it has the pearlescence of Rouge Pearl, but it's definitely lighter than these. I feel like that may serve best as a highlighter or a cheek topper. That's just my opinion, but we'll see once we apply it to the face. And next is the highlighter. And I'm sure you can see just the 3D of the actual product. How it dips in here and then is raised. They really did a beautiful job with the details. So this is the highlighter from Lotus, and I want to compare it to a few. The Pearl Lumiere from the Holiday 2021. I feel like this is lighter. It has more pearlescence to it, and that is it here. It's definitely lighter. This has a slight more pink to it and a little warmer than last year's. I really don't think it'll compare to Ray, and I believe this was summer of this year, spring, summer, and that is it there. This is more like a cheek shade, but I just wanted to compare it just in case. And lastly, this is a powder, so this is the Eclat Brilliant Face Powder, but I love to use it as a highlighter, but you can definitely use it as a radiant face powder. I just like to use it on the high points of the cheeks. And this again is the Eclat Brilliant Face Powder, and I don't believe this is available anymore. And lastly is the lip crystal. So I did wipe all that off. So the lip crystal, this one does seem to be a little pink with pearlescence and some gold. And you can see that there. And I'm pretty confident in saying if it's anything like the ones in the past, it will have more of that sheen upon initial application. Not that it goes away. I've used this lip crystal plenty of times and you can see it does not go away. This is rose quartz, but I feel like that initial swipe has more oomph. But there it is. I feel like that'll be a nice lip topper if you really want to glitz up a lip shade. But let's try it all on and see what we think. I am not a glitter girl on the face, but the lip crystals, I really enjoy them. I enjoy the Tom Ford ones as well. So on the lips, I'm okay. On the eyes, I'm a little, I have a palette on my eyes today that I am not fond of, and quite frankly, I think is overhyped. But that video, I'll link it up here, should be out, if not right after this. So let's move on to the face powder and application. And I'm gonna use the Buff and Blur powder brush from Chantecaille. And this is just like a flat face brush. So I'm gonna start here where I have the largest pores. And just do half the face and see what we think. I think this is definitely going to cover up my bronzer. It definitely gave a blurring effect. I would say it's an equal blurring effect, as you can see here as to here. I would say it's an equal blurring effect to the current one, but it does give a subtle glow. If you're one that likes a very subtle glow, you're oily, I like this. It's not oily looking, it's like shining from within. I'm trying to move so that the light can really capture that, where here I made sure to really just wear a flat base and just make sure I didn't hinder that, and I just applied a little bit of bronzer over that, but you can definitely see that radiance. I see it right here. It's really pretty. I will say I was nervous about this product. I saw glow and instantly I was like, oh no, because me and glow don't tend to go very well together. But I think with this, you can get that really soft, beautiful glow, and I can really set it. And with a good primer, if you're oily like myself, you can prevent those oils from seeping through and really just preventing this really nice glow from looking greasy throughout the day. That's really pretty. I could definitely see it on the high points of my face, where here you can see it is matte and more flat. So let me do all of it. I will say this is probably the product that caught me off guard the most. I wasn't expecting, and it blurred my nose. It's nice. So I've done my whole face except for this section of my forehead. Really pretty. I really do feel like it has more of a translucent effect to it versus the original Blur powder. The original Blur powder does have a pigmentation to it, so you really have to make sure, at least I do, make sure I'm applying it when I'm not oily so that pigment doesn't stick to the oils and cause any cakiness. Where I feel like my face, I've had this on well over an hour. My oils were already seeping through, and this really did a did blur nicely. It didn't cake anywhere. It is nice. I'm shocked, but I like it. I have said it before. I love the original perfect blur powder, but I do have to apply it, set it, put setting spray, and go about my day. And for touch up, I do prefer the HD, which is a true translucent, but I do feel on deeper skin tones, it may give a white cast, it may not. Let me know if you're interested in me swatching the HD powder on my daughter and my husband's deeper skin tone, but I really love this powder for touching up. Has no pigment, truly translucent, and if you're oily like myself, that is a holy grail. Keep it in the purse. Moving on to cheeks, and that is this shade here. I am going to use the Sonia G Soft Face Brush, and I'm just going to, it definitely picks up. It has on the face, it doesn't seem to apply as dark as it swatches. It kind of looks like Grace, which is the turtle shade on the face, but with a glow. It looks like I applied Grace in a beautiful blush topper over it, honestly. It's a beautiful shade. If you're deeper than me, I don't think this shade will show up on you. It might be a good highlighter, but let's see how it builds up. It does build up. So you can see there, it's definitely building up. I will say, if you are one that suffers from texture, it doesn't seem to emphasize texture, like make it worse, but it's definitely not going to blur it. So as you can see right here, I do have a little texture going. It's not making it worse, but it is a glowy blush. So the light's gonna catch it. So you're just gonna see it more than you would if it wasn't a luminous blush. I do feel on darker skin tones, this is gonna be a beautiful highlight. I feel like this would be a great highlight on me, honestly, because I love like just a subtle highlight. What do you think? I definitely think you can see the shade, but I think you have to build it up. And like I said, it looks like a natural glow. This would be a pretty blush for a makeup, no makeup day. I don't think you'll be able to really tell you have on a blush. It really does look like it's coming from underneath, but if you're looking for a lot of pigment, this wouldn't be the blush for you. Next, let's move on to the highlighter, and I'm gonna use the Fan Pro from Sonia G, and I'm just going to wiggle it in there and see. Okay, I feel like I can see where I placed it, but I feel like it's just as equally as glowy as the blush. So definitely if you apply it on the high points, if you wear it with this blush, that point where you applied the highlighter will definitely give a lift and more beam. But if you're not one, as you can see there, this is with just the blush, and this is the blush and highlighter. I definitely think that you can see a difference. And I think it definitely lifts and makes more light catch onto the highlighter. but I don't feel it is much glowier than the blush. And I will say, as you can see here, so right down here is where the blush is just over that texture, and right here is where, towards the top of that, you can see that's where the highlighter is on the texture. And again, it emphasizes it, but it doesn't make it look worse. It is a glowy product, so it's gonna catch light, so you're gonna be able to see it. So if you're one that suffers from texture in the cheek areas, I really wouldn't recommend these products. That's just my personal opinion. But if you don't care, go for it. I'm all for whatever makes you confident. If it makes you feel confident, do it. Okay, whatever's left on the brush, I just lightly went over that on my nose and on my Cupid's bow. And lastly, let's try the lip crystal, and this is in Pink Opal. It is sheer and just gives a little bit of shimmer. I feel like this will be nicer over a lipstick. So there it is on its own. I'm gonna remove it. I'm gonna apply a lipstick and place this over and see what we think. Okay, so I applied the Chantecaille lipstick in the shade Narcissa, and I really want to place this over it just to see how it looks. I would like this, just like the rose quartz, how it has that tint to it. This kind of went on a little sheer. Yes. I like it over a lipstick. On its own, it's sheer with a little bit of shine, like the glitter. But over a lipstick, it is so pretty. I like it over the lipstick, which is how I wear the Tom Ford ones. What do you think? Better on its own or with the lipstick? Let me know, honestly. So let's move on to final thoughts. Now, as far as the blur powder, this is what I was most nervous about, yet I think it's my favorite. It's my favorite of all the products so far. I'll keep playing with them and I'll definitely update you if I feel differently, but I really like how it's translucent. Like it went on with that translucent look. I do feel like on deeper skin tones, it might not be as translucent, or it might give that white cast. I have not swatched them on the other skin tones, but I will have the photos up on Instagram as soon as I do, which will be tomorrow. But for you, it would be the same day that this video is going up. So I am really liking the blur powder. I like how it just didn't make me uncomfortably shiny considering how oily I am. I really like that. Next is the blush. The blush, again, yes, there is an issue with the packaging. They're working on a resolution, but the blush, I feel on its own, I don't feel it packs a punch as far as pigment goes, but I feel it would be beautiful like over Grace. Let me swatch that. So Grace is like a very natural blush shade. So I really want to apply that and just apply this blush over it. Yes, you see, that is beautiful. It has just like that perfect amount of pigment and that perfect amount of glow. I feel like, and I did pick up more blush on this brush, I feel like that is the perfect I want to have that little bit more oomph. Does it have some color? It does. Will it show if you have a deeper skin tone than I do? Most likely not. If you have a deeper skin tone than I do and you feel this is too light for a highlighter, I feel like this will make a really nice highlight. But again, the swatches will tell the truth. As far as the highlighter goes, I really like the highlighter. I really do. It does have a warmth to it that I really like, but if you tend to go for a no makeup look, I really suggest this blush. I feel like it just provides just the right amount of pigment and just that glow from within. Again, if you my skin tone or lighter, I don't feel it'll work on deeper, but I could be wrong. So as far as the highlighter goes, I like it. It's pretty. I like how it really just, I feel like it really catches the light and gives that lifted effect to the cheekbones. I love the Baked Gelée formula. Chantecaille just never disappoints when it comes to formula. And lastly is the lip crystal. So I like the lip crystal, but I like it better with the lipstick. Like there's still some lipstick here. So that is it with the lipstick. It really just gives that beautiful sheen to it. So next I'm going to clean that off and then just apply it on its own. So here it is on its own, kind of sheer with glitter, and here it is with the lipstick. It just amplified the lipstick and made it even better. So here is the lipstick swatched on its own, right in between the two. So this is the lipstick, this is the lip crystal, and this is them combined. It just really softened it. It really gave it that beautiful glow. You don't see the glitters, but it still provides the shine. I really, really like it with the lipstick. Now, if I had to recommend just one product from this line, I would say wait for the swatches, and it would be the powder. It would be the powder, and if you like a shiny lip, then the lip crystal. And the other two products, as far as the blush and the highlighter, the blush being last, just because I don't feel it would tend to suit many skin tones because of the pigmentation. But I do feel it will serve as a highlighter for darker skin tones. So we'll see once the swatches are done. But that is all. I'm happy to have the collection. I'm not disappointed to have it. Will definitely use it. I love Chantecaille. I will definitely be using the blush as a blush topper, where Ray, I tend to use that on the eyes or the high points of the cheek as a very, very light blush topper in the summer months, when I really just want to put that, not even over a blush, over my bronzer, because I get bronzy. But thank you all so much for coming. Until next time, don't forget, we're all perfectly imperfect. Bye.